Hey, it's already February and it's already a little bit late, but I still hope that every one of you had the nicest start into the new year, and maybe some of you are already working on some resolutions or some projects, because I certainly am, which is why I'm filming this video now. Yeah, I'm attending a fantasy ball next month and I'm super excited to go there. It will be my very first fantasy ball, and yeah, of course, I wouldn't be me if I didn't already have a specific vision in mind of what it is that I want to wear for this occasion. And the thing is, I only have very little sewing experience. I have less than a month to finish all of this. Of course, I decided that I will make all of this all by myself instead of just buying something, because why make it easy if you can just struggle instead? Yeah, so I don't even know if any of this will work out the way that I intended to, but I guess there's only one way to find out, so let's get into it. The look that I wanted to put together is basically a celestial jester kind of look. I wanted the main parts of the costume to be a corset with these little triangle parts on it so that it would look a little bit more circus-like, and a dress underneath with some poofy sleeves to make it look a little bit more vintage or medieval-ish. And of course a clown-like collar on the neck and a jester-ish headpiece with some jingle bells on the end. So yeah, the look would really come together. And yeah, the rest would basically be me experimenting with different fabrics and different textures. Yeah, as you can see, I was kind of having a tough time on deciding how I wanted the skirt part to be, but in the end I settled on this shorter look so you could still see the shoes, because I think the jester is in general a more agile character that moves around a lot, so I thought it would fit that the skirt is a little bit shorter. And yeah, overall I was super happy with this design. I thought it was very, very cute, and honestly I thought that if my end product would turn out half as good as what I sketched out here, I would already be super happy and it would be a success for me. Okay, so starting at the base, I chose this navy blue canvas fabric for the dress. And yeah, the pattern that I chose is called a parachute dress. It looks something like this. And as you can see, the skirt part is made out of these several panels of fabric that you sew together, and if you twirl around or dance, then these fabrics would unfold very nicely, and yeah, it would just have some really nice movement to it. And I also thought that the panel kind of design fit the jester vibe very well, because I could choose different textures, different colors for these panels and make it more colorful, make it more jester looking, a little bit like a circus tent. So yeah, this is why I chose this kind of design for my base. Also, I decided to make each of the panels approximately 20 centimeters longer, because while I wanted this ball gown to be on the shorter side, the original pattern was still way shorter than what I wanted. So yeah, I quickly made these adjustments and then I was good to go. By the way, when I started sewing my dress, you can even see it here in the video, I didn't realize that for some reason the speed slider on my sewing machine was somehow all the way at the lowest setting, and I kid you not, I spent like 1 hour panicking trying to figure out what was wrong with my fairly new sewing machine until I figured out what the problem was, and it was just such a waste of time. It was so stupid. So yeah, if your sewing machine is super slow for some reason, check your speed slider first before you take apart the whole thing, trying to fix something like I did. The next step was cutting out the parachute panels for the dress, which were basically these quarter pizza slices that I would sew in between the blue parts of the skirt of the dress.
Oh, mysterious kitty merchant, can I please purchase from your elegant shop some amazing mysterious fabrics of the golden shimmer and shine? I will give you some treats later. Yes? No? Payment in advance? I just wanted you to look at this fabric for a second, because I actually don't know what kind of fabric this is. It feels pretty heavy. It has this nice golden shimmer, and it's made out of like several, I don't know, you can really see the texture of it. Yeah, when I look for fabrics, I usually just go to the store, feel the fabrics and look at them, and I just choose based on what I like aesthetically. So not even thinking about what works best, or if I can, or if it's easy to sew, because some fabrics are like super slippery and stuff, right? I just make my decisions based off aesthetics. Yeah, so this is the one I'm working with now, and I think it looks super nice, super nice. Now I just have to get my kitty to share some of this with me. Yeah, Kaltefa, you're so cute. You're so cute.
Yeah, so once I stopped the fraying of the fabric by adding this zigzag stitch, I could add these golden panels to the blue part of my dress and, yeah, basically finish the base of the dress. I'm always so happy when I'm working on something and I can finally see some progress. I loved how the fabrics moved when I was twirling the dress around, and I was also super happy with the gold and dark blue color palette that I chose for this dress. Today is corset day. This will be the more tricky part of this project. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have already seen that I already sewed a mock-up of this corset the other week, and it actually turned out pretty well, I think. I was super happy with it. And it was the first time that I actually, I have tried sewing corsets before, but I never really finished them. I don't know, sometimes I struggle with starting a project and then finishing it. So yeah, this was the first corset that I actually finished. And yeah, I was super happy with it. It was actually beautiful. But now, of course, that this mock-up worked, I have to use my more high quality, more beautiful fabrics now that I actually chose, especially for this project. And I'm a little bit scared because I chose this dark blue silk fabric for one half of the corset, and the other half will be a beautiful burgundy wine colored velvet fabric with some glitter embroidery on it. It looks stunning, and it feels so illegal to cut into this fabric. I don't know. I'm just super scared to make a mistake, even though theoretically nothing can go wrong, because I already once sewed all of this and it worked. But yeah, it's a bit intimidating, but I guess procrastinating any longer on this won't get me any further either. So yeah, let's tackle this. So here are all the pieces I need for the corset, and I'm starting with the lining actually, and for this I'm using this a bit more robust fabric you can see here in the background, because I prefer this corset to be a little bit more sturdy, so I can really cinch the waist and apply some pressure when I'm wearing it.
Ja, Carmen, wie geht's dir?
Ja, ganz gut. Ich liege gerade hier auf dem Boden und trace mein Schnittmuster. weil heute ist eigentlich Corset Day, also heute muss ich das Korsett nähen, was ja so ein bisschen der schwierigere Part ist. Ich meine, ich habe es ja jetzt schon einmal genäht, von daher ist es eigentlich okay, aber das war jetzt schon so 1,5 Wochen her oder so und ich dachte, ich weiß noch alles ganz genau, aber ich weiß dann, naja, egal, long story short, ich war mir nicht mehr sicher, ob ich mein Schnittmuster mit oder ohne Nahtzugaben gemacht habe und weil ich mir nicht sicher war und mich nicht daran erinnern konnte, ob ich das schon conveniently für mich abgeändert hatte oder nicht, musste ich jetzt eben in den letzten Stunden nochmal ein Mock-up von dem Korsett nähen, nur damit ich halt nicht den Stoff verschwende. Aber ja, es hat sich herausgestellt, dass ich schon alles so richtig gemacht habe. Also ich hätte es einfach machen können, aber ja, ich war mir halt nicht sicher und deswegen habe ich jetzt den ganzen Tag damit verbracht, nochmal ein Mock-up zu nähen. Ja. Okay, so now that I have the okay, now okay, I now have the outer part and the lining of my corset, and it's time to sew them together now. And yeah, now I've decided to get some scrap pieces of fabric that I have left and some other fabric that I bought, and I made these little triangles. I will show them to you. Yeah, I made this very simple pattern. You see, it's literally just a triangle with a little bit of extra. My voice is a bit crappy today, I'm sorry. With this little bit of extra space on the top, so I can like fold this over when I'm sewing. Yeah. Yeah, so I just winged this one. But yeah, I will attach them between the outer part of the corset and the lining, so that when it's sewn together, I can just fold them over and it's this kind of, I don't even know the right word. In German it's a Girlande oder Wimpel, Fähnchen. Ich weiß auch nicht so genau. Yeah, so it's this little triangle parts on top of the corset. You saw that in my sketch. Yeah, and I hope it will work out with the spacing and everything. So yeah, I hope I can attach them and there won't be any problems. So this is what I'm doing next. Yeah, so at first I was having a little bit of a tough time figuring out where exactly to place these little triangles so they would still end up on the outside of the corset once I flipped it over. But yeah, eventually I figured it out, and then I made sure that all the pointy edges were really sharp and pointy by inserting a chopstick in between the layers and pressing all that fabric out. Yeah, and then I just had to press both of the layers together. It's always important to press your fabrics so you are having sharp and clean edges everywhere and it's easier to work with. And yeah, then I only sewed the tunnels for inserting the boning later, and then I could proceed to the fun part of this project, which is embroidering my finished base of the corset with these super nice glittery beads and some golden thread. And I've decided on making a little star or firework design for the blue parts of the corset, and you can see this little design right here. The very last step was, of course, hammering in the eyelets. I've decided on these golden ones fitting the color scheme. And yeah, it took me a while to figure out the right spacing for them, so everything was as symmetrical as possible. Yeah, and then I proceeded to do some hammering. And then the corset was finally really done. And I'm so happy about that. You guys, I am so proud and happy about how this turned out. I mean, look at it. I love the little embroidery that I made, and just look at how the sequins are glittering and reflecting the light. I love the circus theme, I love the Jester theme. I think the colors work really well together. And honestly, I just can't believe that I made this. Yeah, and also I added these little crystals and sun charms to the ends of the triangles because I just thought it added a little bit more whimsy. And yeah, let me know what you think. And speaking of color palette, here are some more fabrics I planned on using in my costume. I think they're all stunning. And yeah, I wanted the Jester gown to be as colorful as possible while still sticking to a harmonious color palette. And the way I did that was by making this panel waist belt. This is how it looks. I basically just cut out more triangles and some lining and sewed them together. I gathered them all on a rubber band so it could easily adjust to my size, and also because you wouldn't see the rubber band underneath the corset anyways. Yeah, and in the end I also added some blue crystals to the end of these triangles so they could nicely catch the light. And yeah, maybe it doesn't look like much right now, but I promise it will be a very important accessory for this ball gown, and it will look good in the end. Okay, so this is future Karu, by the way. Yeah, there's a few more steps to finishing this costume, and I think I'm gonna speed up some of the next steps for you because this video is already super long. And yeah, I still hope it's interesting for you to watch. And yeah, basically what's next is the clown collar I'm gonna wear on the neck, the sleeves of the dress, which nobody prepared me for how much of a pain and a struggle it is to sew sleeves in the correct way. I spent like 2 days alone just fixing the pattern. So because I had a pattern for some vintage poofy sleeves, but of course if you buy a pattern that's not customized to your measurements and proportions, then it's always, or sometimes it's not going to be a perfect fit. And yeah, I realized that this was the case here. I sewed this mock-up for the sleeves. I attached it to the dress and the sleeves were pulling the the neckline of the dress down and pulling the whole shoulder part of the dress down in a weird way, which was not flattering at all. Yeah, and you could really tell that this wasn't the way it's supposed to be. So yeah, I had to figure out how to fix the sleeves so this wouldn't happen. And yeah, what I had to do was basically elongate the shoulder part of the sleeves. I don't know if you have ever seen a sleeve pattern, but yeah, I had to make the part that goes over the shoulders longer, so yeah, there wouldn't be as much weight pulling down. And yeah, I spent like 2 days sewing about 6 to 7 mock-ups of the sleeve until I finally had a until I finally had the result that I wanted. Yeah, but anyways. And the very last thing that I wanted to sew is the Jester head. Yeah, and then basically I will just decorate my dress with some trim, with some crystals, sun charms. I will attach as many jingly bells as I can attach everywhere. And yeah, what I didn't expect, of course, is that I was about to be super, super sick. I've had the worst cold I've had in years. Yeah, I can tell you that much, that I was just, on some days I was just sleeping the whole day. And yeah, of course, being sick made it a little bit more difficult for me to simultaneously work on the project and also film some footage, because I was just super exhausted and I was just happy to sit on the couch and work on what I could work at while sitting down and being wrapped in my blanket. So yeah, there's a little bit less footage from now on, and I hope you don't mind that, but it just made finishing my project way easier for me, because it is still not 100% natural for me to film myself while I'm working. I'm trying to get better at it because I really want to make more YouTube videos in the future, but yeah, I tried. And I hope it's okay. Oh, and I also wanted to mention that so all the patterns I used are linked in the description, but I did change some of the patterns. So yeah, just in case you're wondering why the patterns in the description are not 100% matching my results, this is the reason, because I made some adjustments. Yeah. But that's also the fun part. This is where you can get super creative, and yeah, I really enjoyed that. So okay, so let's finish this dress. The dress is done, you guys, and as the very last cherry on top, I attached this beautiful, beautiful trim I found on Etsy. It was perfect to hide the seam of my dress, and yeah, just adding that little extra pizzazz that made the look more opulent and just so pretty. Yeah, and there's one more thing that I crafted, which is the Jester hat. You saw it in the beginning in my sketch. And yeah, sadly I don't have any footage of how I made this hat. I can tell you that it's a really simple sewing pattern. And yeah, it's basically just, I think, three parts, and then you sew them together and that's it. Yeah, and for this piece I just didn't have the energy. I just wanted to get it done because my energy was already low. So yeah, I hope that's okay with you. But as I said, the pattern is really simple and you can just recreate it very easily. And yeah, I will still show you, of course, how it turned out, and just wear it for a moment. Yeah, as you can see, I also added this golden trim to the Jester head, so the overall theme would be coherent. And then I just filled the head up with some cotton wool, and I couldn't even bother to sew in like a protective layer or anything. It would just sit on my head like this, and I would secure it with some bobby pins. And yeah, I also added this cute embroidery to the crown part, and that's it. So, what do you guys think? This was such a crazy project for me, and I'm so happy with the results. I still can't believe that I sewed this whole costume all by myself. It took me like a month and then another month just editing this video. And yeah, obviously we had the best time at the fantasy ball. Oh, by the way, if you're interested what kind of event it was the Stardust Circle Moonlight Ball. And they did such a great job making this evening extra beautiful, extra special. There were so many artists, merchants, so many fantasy and enthusiasts. Yeah, enthusiasts in like the prettiest costumes. I even could finally meet some friends that I got to know over Instagram and had never seen in real life before, so this was super exciting. And yeah, it's just so surprising to me how many people there actually are that are enthusiastic about the fantasy niche and about dressing up in super cool costumes and yeah, just pretending to be lost in the Fae realm for one evening. it just made me so happy. Oh, and also I'm just super happy that I got the chance to film my reveal footage in Schloss Philippsruhe, which is the castle you saw me juggling and twirling around in my costume just now. Yeah, they were kind enough to let me film my videos there, which is super amazing. So thank you to the City Museums of Hanau and Schloss Philippsruhe for letting me film my silly little project in their beautiful, beautiful castle. I think this was just a perfect, opulent location and yeah, just amazing. So thank you very much. And I don't know, what else is there to say? What do you think about this project? Did you enjoy watching this video? Honestly, it's April now actually. So yeah, a lot of time has passed from when I first started working on this project to finally uploading this video. It took me way much longer than I expected. I'm still not used to this, and I guess somebody else could have done all the editing in a week or two, but yeah, it just took me so long. And I'm really working on getting better at it because I really want to do many more videos and share many more projects in the future. It's just so much fun. So yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this or maybe what I should do next. And yeah, and if you ever visit a fantasy ball, what would your preferred outfit to be? What would your dream character be like? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this, and until next time, bye bye.